Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and I'm here with my co-host all the way from Tucson, Miss PK. How are you, PK?
I hate to complain and say I'm chilly when you all are dealing with snow, so I'll suck it up for you guys.
Okay. All right. What is it, 70 there?
Well, it's been cooler than that because it's going to rain. That's the only reason.
So 65.
Probably. But it's a damp 65.
Oh, it's very damp. Oh, no, you poor thing. We're
I felt so bad all day. I go, I've had the heater cranked up to high in my office. I had the door open with the heat from the house, and I'm still sitting here. My hands are like ice cubes.
Yeah.
We're just
I know. Once you get cold like that, it's like you're stuck with it. Yeah, it's terrible. But before you tell us the numbers, I wanted to let everybody know I have a new Facebook page I wanted to tell everybody about. And it is with Teresa Chung, the dream expert, world-renowned. We are working on a couple of projects, and we have a new Facebook page. So please join us there. Also, make sure you're signed up for Supernatural Girls on Facebook so you'll know everything that's coming, because we have so much planned for this year. Definitely. So also subscribe to our YouTube channel, but the name of the new Facebook page is called Dream Girls. Everything begins with a dream. And so please join us there, because we are going to be doing a docuseries that is called My Dream Saved My Life. Yeah. So if you have a dream that saved your life, made a major impact in your life and made it better in some way, then please contact us. You can reach out to us on the Facebook page, also at Supernatural Girls, P. Baker at bigpictureagency.com. I'm listed there. And just let us know. We're going to be doing pre-interviews, and we're going to be gathering up all the stories to be able to tell what happened to you in the dream world that made such a big difference and saved your life. So go to Dream Girls Media is the name of the Facebook page, and you'll see what we're doing there. So again, follow us everywhere that we are. We're on TikTok as well. Be sure to join us there. And that's it for now. So I'm going to take it away, PK.
Well, I'm just going to talk about the universal year that we're in right now. This month, the universal year sets the stage, and it leads to many changes, because this month we're in a 2 universal month, and the year itself is a 1. So consequently, we say we need to be team players and cognizant of what other people feel. But those that are in the 1 want to do it their way, and those that are in the 2 feel that they're being shortchanged. So you can see there's a tug of war going on. One says one thing and the other says, you're hurting my feelings. The 2 is overly sensitive, the 1 very demanding. To top it off, we need to take a look at our own personal year and personal months. So the personal year determines how you'll handle what's transpiring this month. Are your numbers odd or even to the universal year, which is a 1? This will be known if the month will be working for you or against you, because anything that's even numbers, they're going to work well this month. Anything else is going to create some problems. So the universe is letting you know it's time that you're going to feel in charge, but the month will tell you that there's a time that you have to be the team player. So part of you wants to run the show. The other part, it has to be the partner. So it's kind of like a tug, like I said, it's a tug of war. Who do you really want to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go for it.
Yeah. All right. Now we know. And a lot of changes this year too, right?
Well, this month people are going to feel overly sensitive. because it is a, excuse me, it is a 2-month, and that creates a lot of sensitivity when they want to be in charge. And if somebody hurts their feelings, oh, woe is me, because you can figure out that balancing board. You're going to be on a teeter-totter all month.
Okay.
What goes up must come down. We just want to be on your backside.
Right. Well, thanks for the warning. Okay.
You're quite welcome, dear.
Well, we have a very extraordinary guest with us tonight.
Yes, we
Who's
do.
had a very extraordinary experience. And so I'm so glad to have him on to tell us all about it. His book is coming out soon. So you guys are some of the first to hear about it, the N-1 Sessions. And our guest is CHRIS Berryman, and he is a writer of fiction, nonfiction, and screenplays. In 2021, he published the sci-fi offering Flying Saucer Visions. His script, 11 Months, was a semifinalist in the writing competition of the 2023 Rhode Island International Film Festival. He works as a director, actor, and producer of theater and media through the ensemble he founded in 2013, Detroit Theater Collective, and he lives in Detroit, Michigan. So we're going to hear all about this book, and here's how it starts. A Voyager from Orion comes clean about the past, examines modern chaos, and offers stimulating possibilities for a future Earth. So we're hearing it first here tonight. CHRIS, welcome to the show.
Hey, Patricia, thanks so much for having me.
It's our pleasure. This is a very exciting topic. We always want to hear what ETs have to say.
Definitely.
But tell us, this happened to you during COVID. So you were kind of hanging out by yourself.
Yes.
And then how did this come to be? I mean, did you get the knock on the door, knock on your ceiling, we're coming down? What happened?
Sort of. Well, what happened was the timing was very interesting to me, something I'm still pondering, but I'd say in 2019, like by the middle of 2019, I started to have these interesting sensory experiences. And it started out as sort of like interesting geometry that I would just close my eyes and it would be there.
Wow.
And it turned into then sort of like machinery that I had never seen before. And then it started to also turn into, and this was not involving any sort of substances or anything like that at all. It would be in the middle of the day. I'd be anywhere and it could be there. But it was particularly vivid at night when I would, right before I'd go to sleep. And it eventually turned into things like flying saucers or some sort of craft, some sort of spacecraft. And then I started seeing eyes. Some of them were human looking and some of them were not human looking. And then I started seeing faces as well. It scared me, to be honest. I think I screamed out when I saw some of them first. And it scared me at first. And now we're moving into like 2020. And then COVID hit, and I was, I live alone. I checked in. My mother was in her 80s at the time. I would check in with her sometimes, but I was spending a lot of time alone. And a teacher of mine, an energy healing teacher, I told her about this, and she said, "Well, I've had some interesting clairvoyant experiences. Just sit with it. Don't be scared." Don't be scared. Stay relaxed. So that was encouraging, and to sort of give you the cliff notes as the pandemic went on, the months went on. Eventually, one night I was laying in bed, totally awake. There was a lamp on next to the bed, and I was just relaxing in bed, and all of a sudden I felt this upward pull. And I knew something was happening. I was like, okay, something is going on here. So I'm just going to try to relax and go with it. And I felt like I was having like hands were like I was having 5 Reiki sessions all at once.
Wow.
Oh, nice. So relaxing.
It was relaxing. It was energizing. It was warm. And I saw a window and a control panel, and a desert landscape, almost like inside of a ship or something. And then I saw hands on the control panel, different kinds of hands, and I saw other things as well. But and I heard this music that was very uplifting. So that experience was the foundation of my first book. It was the inspiration of my first book, which is actually a children's or adults, but sci-fi offering called Flying Saucer Visions. That journey in that ship was the inspiration for that, and it's illustrated too. So there's a lot of pictures of that experience, and then eventually the visions kept happening, and they became more vivid, and I got really bombarded by them, and I just finally just confronted them. What do you want? What do you want from me? And then a conversation started with a being who identified as N-1. And the upcoming book, the N-1 Sessions, which is a nonfiction it's short essays, metaphysical essays sorted by season. And that book is what came of those conversations and eventually channelings.
Let me just ask you a couple questions. When you had these experiences, when they started and continued, did you also experience any strange odors, any strange smells? A lot of people talk about that.
I did not, but my other senses, it was music, it was visual, it was feeling. I've heard people talk about odors. That was one thing I didn't experience, but the other senses definitely got activated.
Okay.
In that, yeah.
So why do you think they chose you?
That is a great question. I do believe there's a chance that I have some connection to this civilization from some past existence. I don't have proof of that. Yeah. I can't prove it, but I do think it had something to do with me being available. I don't have any kids, or I live alone, and that I was available, that I was open to other worlds and other realms. And I had some training of working with this sort of kind of communication as well. I had to learn real quick. I had to ramp it up very quick to sort of hold the conversation and let them speak through me or write through me. But that's how it it evolved, and it's still evolving. I'm still learning.
It's an incredible relationship that you have with them. Is it so? It's just one entity, N-1, who speaks through you, or are there others?
No. Sometimes it's just this. So this is a collective, a collective consciousness. There is a leader, and N-1 is sort of the leader. But sometimes I can tell the difference in the vibration when it's that same energy coming through. Sometimes they kind of communicate as a group consciousness, and that when that's the case, it has a more relaxed, detached feeling to it. Whereas when I know it's N-1, when it's sort of a more forceful, more lots of humor, lots of energy involved in it, in the conversations and the channelings. So it's interesting how it varies.
Yeah. And it's interesting that they picked you, and that you're also in the arts. I mean, you're somebody who works regularly in the arts as a producer, a director, a writer. So very right brain, I would think.
Yes, and I think that might have had something to do with it as well, that maybe they knew that I would want to turn this into something. And I guess what I chose to do was more books and images. And so I think maybe the source knew that I would want to transform it into something and share it. And that's what I'm doing.
That is terrific. So when they started talking to you, it sounds like you were fairly relaxed and you're able to receive the information. But tell us some of the things that surprised you. Because here you are talking to ETs or interdimensionals. Do you know which one?
I they don't seem to have a they don't seem to make a differentiation between those two things. They have
Okay.
the realm that they exist in is mostly non-physical, but they describe how they, in the N1 sessions, how they have the ability to present themselves in form and to move down into something closer to our dimension. And that this is an ability that a lot of advanced ETs or extra dimensionals have. And some of the things that surprised me that they wanted to talk about in one of the themes that keeps coming through in the N1 sessions is they're really encouraging us to tap into our human energy bodies and our abilities connected with that, meaning ESP, astral projection, somatic awareness, astral travel, things like this. They're really encouraging that. And there are 10 exercises in the back of the N1 sessions that a person could do to sort of get those abilities moving and flowing. So that seems to be sort of working with those somatic and shamanic abilities seems to be our hope, our next level, our next phase as a species. And that we don't need to get into a rocket ship and go into space, because we can travel there. We can travel anywhere we want to with our energy bodies.
Right. I mean, it's familiar to us because we've been in this whole field for so many years. The Seth material comes to mind.
Yes. I love Jane Roberts. I think she was just amazing. Yeah.
She really was. And it was a collective, again, that she was working with. But again, there was one that came through, being Seth. And, when you look back, that was so many years ago. And yet the information that they came out with is being talked about today like it's brand new. But she's the one, I think, and you probably would agree, that brought these things forward. Number one, they did it first, her and her husband and Seth. But it sounds very, very familiar, to what you're experiencing and the level of safety that you feel and that you're able to write down. Do you tape record yourself talking about it, or do you just automatic writing comes right through?
Isn't that insane? Yeah, I'm mostly alone when I do it. I tape record myself for the most part, and then if I have questions about what's come through, if I need clarification, sometimes I'll use an automatic writing technique to just go back in and get some more details about the information. Then I sort of put it together, and then I have to, like, for the N1 sessions for the book, there was a huge job in taking those recordings and scribblings and then putting it into English, because there's a difference between spoken English and in written English. So to make it a cohesive book, a cohesive set of essays. So that was a huge task that was connected to the project. Yeah.
Yeah, that is enormous, bringing that all together. Yeah. They sound so friendly.
They are friendly, and I would not have kept the connection if it wasn't friendly, if there were demands or if there was a murky energy. It feels like they have a monk-like feeling to them, a monk-like energy, and a very reverent, very respectful energy. It's a very mature energy, and that's why I sort of trust the feeling of it, that I feel safe and I feel protected and buffered at the same time.
Yeah, so that you've never been scared of them or had a scary episode?
Nope. I was scared at first when I saw that some of the eyes were non-human, that and it was like the Orion contingent. There was a name that that's sort of what I call them, and that they liked that, so they went along with it. But they reminded me of, because they were all different beings that seemed to come from different places. There were humans, there were some amphibians, there were some who looked more like a morph, like more like a what they sort of like a gray almost, but a little taller, and because of the original groupies who followed the Sex Pistols, which in London called the Bromley contingent, which were punks, like kids who were punks, and they had interesting looks about them. And so the name the Orion contingent came from that for this collective.
Wow. So you've seen them. You've seen the way they look.
Initially, yes, I saw at least some of them. I saw that their look. I think they wanted to present themselves to sort of like just here's what we look like. We don't want to hide anything, and I appreciated that. And then the connection occurred, and I felt with those positive experiences that I had, I felt safe in following through on them.
That's good.
So they're imparting knowledge, and they're encouraging us to basically explore more of our own consciousness and get centered in our bodies. What do they want us to do with our bodies?
Well, there's this idea of the body as a stargate, that our auras, our energy bodies have the capability of being sort of like a portal. Yes. And that we've just started to tap into some of these abilities. I mean, some people are quite advanced in their ESP, in their ability to channel, or their ability to heal, and so that there's developing this more so to open ourselves. Being in water, it can be a very healing thing that can open the channel as well. Of course, meditation and body work, receiving healing, laying on of hands. All of these practices are so important right now. I think massage as well.
It's really encouraging to hear that your collective is so generous.
Oh, yes.
For us, because we're kind of not that great.
Well, that's the thing, and we've been. I think it seems like they understand that we're still sort of coming into our integrity here, and that maybe we've been because of certain events in certain groups who have maybe not wanted us to evolve so quickly, that they understand that there's sort of there's some interference that's going on with our species.
A lot of it. Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah. So I think we've gotten this far with the amount of interference we've had, from being lied to about our history, about the involvement of ETs and interdimensionals all this time. There's been so much cover up and disinformation, which is even worse.
Yes.
So it makes it hard for us.
I think it makes it very difficult. And because of that, because of some of the stories, and maybe, I guess you'd say, fear tactics, and some of that is connected maybe with religion, or with from other control mechanisms too. Because of that, I think with all of this sort of quickening happening, with people having experiences like this, and people seeing things in the skies, and having all sorts of different new phenomena, new conversations, that there seems to be, the internet perhaps brought this on, that there's there's no hiding anything anymore.
Yeah,
really, some podcasts like the Supernatural Girls will dig it up. That's why.
And plus, everybody's got a cell phone, so they take pictures and videos of what's in the sky.
Exactly, and that's we're just seeing it. It's always been there, but we're just seeing it more now.
Yeah.
And because of that, because of things are ramping up so quickly, I think a lot of people are probably very scared. And the message, one of the messages that comes through in the N-1 sessions is that, just breathe. There's a lot more support than maybe and
that's good.
Yeah. And so that's when that happens, when someone has some sort of insight or some sort of experience, there's this weird sort of social homeostasis can kick in. Like there's something we're wired to like fall into line and not go against the grain. And one of the things these beings do is just sort of push us to speak our truth and to, it's safe now. You're not going to be burned at the stake. You're not going to be persecuted. Just you're safe to express yourself and keep doing it.
Yeah, well, that's all good news. And they've extended a hand in friendship to you.
Yeah. It's sort of a little agreement have going on. Yeah, which so far I'm willing to go along with.
So you feel respected in all of this. You don't feel they invaded your space or forced you.
No. In that experience that I described earlier, like some people might view that as abduction, but it absolutely did not feel that way to me. It felt like you said, a hand reaching out, and I took it. Yes. And it had a high feeling and a positive feeling, and almost like it was predestined. To be honest, yeah.
Well, yeah, because you feel like you may have had history with them in another civilization in another time. So there's a high level of comfort with them, and it doesn't freak you out. I think that most people would feel a little freaked out. But you have this history, like this, which makes total sense. So it's like, I know these guys. They're okay.
That's what it felt like, to be honest, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's going to play you in the movie?
Well, I'll have to think about that. I don't know. Ezra Miller? I don't know. I'll have to find somebody good.
Yeah, you better. This is a great story. And it's so positive.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Because, we've had so many people on here that have had experiences with ETs. And they've been dumped out the bottom of a ship, hurt themselves, and were totally disoriented and couldn't remember a lot of what happened. This is so different. It's not an abduction. It's something else. It's like you said, it's a partnership.
Right.
A teamwork makes a difference.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And, I do these sessions just so I can have my autonomy. I sort of do it, sort of in cycles, like I'll do it in moon cycles or the equinoxes, so that I don't feel overwhelmed by it, so that I can have space and that like it'll come naturally, like it's almost part of a season to me. That works.
How often then do you get together with them?
I'd say like I'll do it once a month, sometimes more than that, sometimes less than that.
Okay.
But I try to do it continuously. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And there's new, even the other day, new material was coming through. So there'll be more. There'll probably be more coming.
Do they come to you and say, "Hey, it's time. You've been slacking off a little bit here. We got some stuff."
They don't. But like every once in a while, one time I said, "Okay, this is where." I'm not making this up. I swear to God. I said, "This is when we're going to do it." And it was like around the autumn, the autumnal, like the September 20th kind of time. And I was, like going to sleep. All of this purple portal walking up, and they were sort of looking. There's some beings like, I thought you said we were doing this, and I was like, okay, just give me a day or so. But the good thing is that I've realized that they live in a dimension where time and space, it's not as linear as ours is, as it is here. So they seem to understand that. That was a really interesting thing, about, you talk about getting dropped out of a spaceship or abducted or scary medical experiments being conducted. Because there's a lot of reports about stuff like that too. And I think because of that, we do need to be discerning. We have to hold on to discernment with this type of experience. But I think developing some of these abilities that we were talking about earlier will strengthen that as this ramps up. Developing our discernment, grounding, learning how to work with the primordial energy of this planet, being able to use our ESP. This as we continue to develop these abilities, that being able to sense what is safe and what is not safe and how to protect ourselves from unwanted experiences, we'll have more ability to do that. Yeah. So that's that they're both not all ETs have the best intentions.
And even when they do, like what comes to mind, PK, you remember when we had Carl Higdon on with Marjorie's wife. I don't know if you're familiar with the Carl Higdon story, but he was the Wyoming hunter. He was hunting elk, and he raised his rifle to take a shot at a herd of elk, and he pulled the trigger, but the bullet hit something and dropped right in front of him, and the bullet was turned inside out. And so he went to pick it up and put it in his pocket, and he looked up, and there was this ET standing there. And the ET was very friendly to Carl and seemed to have a lot of respect for Carl. And in fact, he really liked his rifle. It was a brand new rifle. Carl had gotten, remember that? He loved his rifle. He just got it. But the ET he really liked it. And Carl gave it to him. He said, no, I can't take it. We have, rules against that kind of thing. But do you want to come with us? And Carl didn't feel like he could say no. So he went.
Surprise.
But they didn't keep him. Yeah. And they didn't keep him because he had a vasectomy. They were looking to take people back to their planet for breeding purposes. So they brought him back. But here he had this kind of friendly relationship with this guy, this ET. But when it came time to returning him, they dropped him out of the bottom of their ship. And he slipped and fell, hurt his shoulder, lifelong injury after that. But Carl always thought kindly of this ET. And so they had some kind of a bond. You talk about a bond that you feel with N-1 and the entities around N-1. And this is kind of similar. There's some familiarity. There was something where Carl did not lose his mind. This was years ago. This is not a new story. This is back
what decade did that when did that take place?
That this happened.
Okay. Wow.
And so, and the thing is, Carl was a man's man. He worked on oil rigs. The town totally supported him. And they never doubted that what he said happened. They said, if Carl said it happened, it happened. That's it. So one of the few that was also treated well by his,
reasonably well, but they could have given him a little gentler landing.
Right. We've asked many people that, why are they dumping you out of the bottom of the ship? Anyways, it's just
I'm not open for that. I like this, that it's sort of non-physical. What I got going on here.
Non-physical is good. That's very good. You keep it that way.
yeah, definitely, for sure.
Yeah. Now, do you have anybody who is, or do you draw? Do you draw the pictures that you see, or do you have somebody recreate them for you?
I draw them. I'm not the best illustrator in the world. I'm not that great at drawing. But I was lucky enough to for my first book in Flying Saucer Visions, the publishing company set me up with an illustrator who was amazing. So she took my very kind of crude drawings and transformed them into this almost manga style art. And I'm very pleased with how they turned out. But the images keep coming through, and particularly different kinds of craft, which different kind of spacecraft, which is really interesting. So I keep recording them, and if they keep coming through, I'll maybe work with a different illustrator for the future to try to post them or include them in some sort of publication.
Now, are you allowed to ask them questions?
Oh yeah, I ask them anything I want to.
Okay.
Yeah. But I first I try to let them speak, and then if there's anything else that I want to know, they seem to be willing to answer anything.
We have so many mysteries on this planet, things that have been hidden from us. I mean, look at Göbekli Tepe. We don't have a clue about Göbekli Tepe, and even Egypt. So many.
Right. Yes. The Tepe. Yeah. The original Egyptian civil. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you talk to them about any of those things, and what kind of
Well,
civilizations are
they it's hinted at in the book, but they seem to have a great alliance with the light beings from Sirius A, which I have a feeling that the civilizations that you're talking about, that the Syrians might maybe had a strong hand there.
Yeah,
So yes, it's sort of suggested. They do say that we were present in form during the early, maybe in the New Stone Age or whatever, but we were not your primary teachers, suggesting that the Syrians and the Pleiadians were probably our primary teachers.
Do they talk about us being genetically manipulated to advance, to evolve?
That perhaps some. It goes into this very briefly in the N-1 sessions. There's other channelers who have gone into this much more so, but that there were other groups of ETs who moved in and perhaps rewired us, and that's why some of this fear mechanisms and sort of like not shutting down our abilities that we're developing perhaps at one time is how they tell the narrative. I can't prove that, but that's the way they describe it.
Chris, are they predominantly male or female, or what? Is
Well,
there a
male, female, and it appears to be no gender. Some of these beings have
That's what
as well.
I was curious about.
And human, non-human, some amphibian. There's some. Seems like there's some in ethereal form, like sort of like the ancestors of the original founders of this collective. Some of them were feline as well. So,
Okay.
so it's a real melting pot.
What are their size? Are they say our size, or are they larger, smaller? What?
All vary. Some of them are very little. Some of them are quite tall, and yes, it's a mixed bag as far as that goes as well.
That's something.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It is. How about Bigfoot? Have they ever talked to you about how Bigfoot fits into all of this?
They have. I haven't asked that, and that as a kid, but on a gut level, intuitive level, I can sense that there's that phenomena is real, and I think it's great that people are, starting to investigate that more closely.
That's good
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because it does seem to be, there are a lot of stories, even from Native Americans from long ago, about the connection between the sky people and.
Absolutely, and the star ancestors, and there's so many stories in the indigenous tribes and nations about the star ancestors in the many different beings connected to that. So I think that a lot of these legends and these stories now we're starting to understand them on a little deeper level, which I think that's really exciting.
Oh God, yeah. About time.
Now, what about their health? Are they able to manage their own health without having illnesses like we do here on the planet?
Well, because I think they live much longer than we do, because the realm that they exist in is mostly a non-physical realm. So they don't have some of the physical ailments that we have. And they're able to sort of heal themselves. And there's a description how they do treat health, that they're able to work with the they say particles, the energy particles of both their bodies and also that's really in all things. So they're able to manipulate might not be the right word, but just sort of understand that these, and we can say atoms in our physical reality, atoms, molecules, things like that, but they understand that they describe it as that these particles have an intelligence of their own, and they're willing to, they work on a level where they're able to heal and co-create and conduct experiments with energy it's all more energetic. It's not as they don't. It doesn't appear that they suffer from a lot of the physical ailments that we do, because they know how to work with things at the core, the energy behind everything. And we're starting to do that here now too, with energy medicine and scalar waves and many biofeedback and many different ways of working. Yeah.
And do they have family units?
Yes, the N-1 describes. So he describes that he was originally from the Sirius constellation, and he talks about his parent souls. They were sort of had a commune of some kind. They were sort of radicals. They wanted to sort of start their own thing, and so there are family. It's a little more open, a little more collective than the nuclear families that we have here. But there are families, and there are whole consciousnesses and whole group consciousnesses of beings that exist. But there are parent souls, and they probably have a different way of bringing souls into being than we do here. But some things do align as far as that goes.
Do they seem to be in units of family unit as we would have here?
They might be a little bit different, it feels like, but that there are family units, and they're free. There's a little more freedom. They're free to come and go. I don't think they have. I don't know if they have the guilting if you don't show up at Christmas time that we have here. But they do maintain some sort of connection with their original family units. Yes.
Now, I'm really glad, PK, that you brought up health, because there's so many people who have all kinds of crazy illnesses on the planet. Now, does this collective have any plans to maybe teach us how to work more energetically and alleviate some of this suffering? I mean, it's really severe on the planet.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever seen every time we bring people on the show, we mention autoimmune. Oh, and then what do our guests say? Remember our other two dream guests? Yes, we both have autoimmune diseases. It's like, it's everywhere. And I hear about very little help coming from the ET interdimensional side to assist and maybe train people like you who are open to what they're doing and what they're sharing, and to bring us to the next level with this.
Well, it's interesting. Like some of the things you're talking about, there's also the toxins and the substances and everything that are sort of connected to our 3D reality here that need to be cleaned up. So they talk about that, and then they also do talk about things like alchemy, they call it, that ways to heal ourselves, ways to recreate our realities, ways to ground. Like it's more about getting back into. It feels like, and definitely the message coming through in the N1 sessions is getting back into alignment with the energy of the planet. That's what is going to help us. And that the whole thing about big pharma and everything, that we need to hold on to and rediscover this ability to self-heal while being open to scientific advancement. Like if we can have both of those things work together, now there's this big, it's very divisive, with about vaccines and about so many things that's actually that's interference. That's us being manipulated once again, and that we have to really move into a place and be open-minded to realize that we have an innate ability to heal, and yes, there are perhaps new technologies coming out that can help us get back into alignment.
Absolutely, there's no reason why there couldn't be a partnership there, except for the level of greed. and the level of greed is so high and so out of control.
Definitely, yes.
That it doesn't allow for some of these other things. I mean, years ago, I worked for a company in my public relations firm, and it was called Celsian. And they actually had a technology based on phased array microwaves. And they were able to raise the temperature of the tumor up past 106 degrees, where cancer dies. Cancer dies at 106. Yeah. But you know who else knew about that is the ancient Egyptians. It was written in an ancient Egyptian language that they knew that's how they treated cancer, was with high heat. So anyways, I had such a hard time getting coverage in the news media for this company who had this amazing breakthrough with historical roots, and because they weren't a drug company. That's that simple.
Yeah. Isn't that sickening?
Yeah.
It definitely it's really a shame. It's really a shame. Yeah, like that sort of stuff like that. And it's great that you're telling the story right now, that all this stuff, and there's it's like there's some really dark, really greed driven cover-ups and violence that has occurred to try to shut this stuff down. Those technologies could be investigated by the right scientists and turned into something. So this all of these things, all of these this thinking, this search, and this need, this hunger for greed and power. This is also something that we need to get past as well, and that's touched on in the N-1 sessions too.
Yeah, that's great that you have this great book coming out. And tell everybody again, when is this book going to drop? I know it's in pre-sale now.
Yes, it's in pre-order now. It will drop February 1st. And you can. I think the ebook is now available. There might be some tweaks that are happening, but So it's coming up February 1st.
Oh, gosh, it's great! Congratulations! This is such an extraordinary experience. I mean, is this the highlight of your life? I mean, this is really.
This is kind of big. This is this whole thing. I did not seek this experience. This is not something that I ever thought I would be doing. I kind of got pulled into it, but I just tried to kind of ride the wave, and I'm excited to be doing this, and I'm learning so much in the process at the same time.
It's just great. I just want to warn you guys that my battery just drained all the way down to almost nothing. If I disappear, it won't be from an ET. It'll be from my battery dying on me for some strange reason.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It's weird. I know, this is, like I said, I had trouble with my light. It plugged it in, it wouldn't work, and now my battery is totally drained when it was completely full when I came down here to speak with you, Chris. So anyways, but this is just fabulous information. I want to encourage everybody to get your book.
Definitely.
And to read all about it. It just sounds so kind what they're doing with you. So kind and caring.
Yes, it feels that way to me too. Yeah, I think it's definitely that.
It's just great. Gosh. Now, do you feel like they're going to be introducing you to new entities, and then from there, new things to teach us?
Probably. They're willing to definitely do this whole thing. They want us to experience this slowly but surely, it feels like. But I would say yes, unless there's a chance that they will also just sort of like, we've said enough, go take what we've said and work with it before we give you anything else. And I would completely understand that too.
Yeah. Now you've been doing this basically solo, but have you ever channeled anything when other people are there, like an audience, they can hear what you're saying and how you're interacting with them?
I only do that like that's that sort of like public channeling is not something that I do. I have done that with what I started with this sort of like learning how to do this like spirit communication. I started with studying with a nonprofit that works with guardian angels. Learning to communicate and to share messages from inner guidance, spirit guides, guardian angels. And so I've done that with groups of people before, and sort of sessions where we channel that sort of energy. But that's something that that sort of that kind of channeling, something I'm a little bit wary of, because it becomes it feels to me, and this just might be my hang-ups, but it feels to me like there's a little bit of a danger of it becoming performative, and that's not something I want to get into.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I know, because people really like being a part of that energy. So that's what this one.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
So maybe someday.
Well, we shall see.
Now, does the rest of the world feel very boring to you after all this excitement?
No. It's transformed for me. I'm very the world. I think it's an exciting place to be right now, and it's one thing that has happened is that things that used to bother me, I'm like, I'll just get this little whisper in my ear that says, that doesn't matter. And that is so liberating.
Yes.
To just, in the big picture, this does not matter. And if someone getting, I've played out a lot of dramas in relationships and friendships and stuff, but I think I'm coming to a place where I don't need that distraction anymore. At least I hope not. Well, famous last words, but
you are content within yourself.
yeah. But so much just sort of, I think things slide off more easily for me now.
That's great.
That's a gift. Yeah. That
really is. Do you find that it's also easier for you to meditate now?
Yeah. Well, it's easier and harder because now I think my sensitivity has ramped up a little bit. So there's many distractions, but I'm making a point to do it more often now, just going back to that sitting in silence, resting in silence. And that's definitely really a helpful thing, just to sort of clear any sort of whatever's going on up here. Yeah. That really helps me.
Yeah, it helps everybody. And it's hard for, I think, Americans to do that because we're always so agitated.
Yeah, and we're so addicted to our phones too.
Oh gosh, isn't that the truth? Yeah. Yep. So the stillness is hard to find for people that are always externally focused.
Yeah, and just shutting off all those devices, and just sort of doing a little fast from all the bombardment, media bombardment. That can definitely be a useful thing, I think.
That's great. I love that.
It helps me, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, because how can you open to things, wondrous experiences like this when you're so distracted?
Right. I mean, nothing against, look at what the technology is doing right now. I mean, we're able to connect with each other. It's wonderful, but it's just a matter of learning a balance. I think that we can find of learning how to properly use it in a way that really supports us as opposed to draining.
Right.
Draining us.
Teach us how to get rid of robocalls.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That would be great.
Yes, absolutely. So this book's coming out. Do you have plans for N-1 too?
Well, the more material keeps coming through, so that's definitely a strong possibility. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we're so thrilled to have you here with us. This is very exciting stuff.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks again for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And there's the website, everybody, berrymanbooks.com. The book will be out soon, but you can pre-order it now. So
yeah, on Amazon, any place that books are sold, really, you can pre-order it. Yeah.
That's fabulous. Yeah. Lucky us.
I know,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Thank you. Fantastic. Well, you stay warm.
Well, thank you so much, and you get through this winter, and take it easy. Enjoy the hibernation.
Yes, that's what it's like. I'll tell you, it feels that way. But anyways, well, what an exciting life you lead with your tribe that found you and that you welcomed to be a part of your life.
Oh, that's fabulous to be able to open that door.
Mm.
Yeah. It's something that's definitely added a new dimension to my existence.
It really has. Oh my gosh. Well, we can't wait to hear more about this. So when you come out with book two, which I'm sure you will, then please let us know.
Right.
Oh, I certainly will. Yes, absolutely.
And
keep up the good work in the meantime.
Now, one last question. Do you take questions from people? Can they email you and say, would you please ask them X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll do it when the next, when I do the next session, I'll include it. Sure. If they want to. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
That would be fun to participate in that with you.
Definitely.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be fine.
Well, we're happy to be back, everybody, and thrilled to have you, Chris, as our first guest of the new year.
Definitely.
So it looks like I'm going overtime, and I'm surprised that Bill's not yelling at me. But
he's probably frozen stiff in front of the machine.
Probably. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will be back again with another great show, everybody. And until then, we will see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.
Good night.